not only London, but the whole of Britain has experienced a heat wave this week like never before. We've broken records for Britain. It might not seem so high, 40 degrees, compared with the temperatures in many parts of India, but we're not just used to it. We're not adjusted to it. We don't have air conditioning as a norm, and we really have struggled to cope with this excessive temperature. To give you an idea of how excessive it was, we broke the national record for the highest ever temperature 3 years ago at 38.7 degrees Celsius. This Tuesday, we broke that record by a full 1.5 degrees, reaching 40.3 degrees Celsius in eastern England, and many other places were not far behind that. So to have broken the record after just 3 years is worrying, especially because climate scientists say it will happen more regularly in the future. It may only be 2 years before we break the record next time.
I think that structurally the UK style of building houses and the system of management in these situations is not yet mastered, because I don't think that the UK is used to these temperatures. So in a sense we had to kind of struggle with it on those 2 days which the temperatures were really high. And if you had to ask me, today is also very hot inside the buildings because it's still very hot.
Here we need to understand, though it sounds like 40 degree and a little above is very common in few places in India, but in the UK the infrastructure is not equipped to handle this level of temperature. Here we don't see quite often this level of summer. So our railways, our underground, even the airports, they are not equipped and really not operational sometimes if the heat waves or the extreme temperature is there, which we faced last 2 days. So we have seen the undergrounds either not operating, or there are lots of delays in few areas. Railways were closed in many places. Even in one of the airports, one of the parts or runways were closed, I was told. We have seen also, unfortunately, lots of fire incidents in London and nearby area. London Mayor were saying that the fire department received around 1500 plus calls, and which is very unfortunate, but it looked like that they didn't face this level of challenges after World War II.
At the peak of the heat wave, the temperatures actually rose to almost about 40.3 degrees Celsius recorded at Heathrow. Unfortunately, a number of disruptions happened in the last few days. Luton Airport was shut down. National Rail Services mentioned that none of their services would be working in and out of London King's Cross, which is a major transport hub. Firefighters were working overtime, probably because they have been the busiest they've been since World War II. Number of calls were received. Unfortunately, a number of wildfires broke out in parts of England, and government issued warnings. There was a red alert declared in parts of England, amber alert in other parts of UK. But government issued very specific warnings to make sure that people remain indoors or find shade. They're not exposed to direct sunlight, which can cause dehydration.
The maximum temperature reached up to 41, which is the highest ever in these isles. And it if it's hot, then it's one thing, but it also caused traffic posts melting. There were fires everywhere. The Luton Airport got damaged because of the heat. It was the busiest day for the firefighters in the UK since World War II. So it is really hot, and I don't know if anything is more apparent, especially to the European eyes, that climate change is real.